Okay, I know a shortcut.
Hugo Brady is an Irishman based in Brussels. As a political analyst for the Centre of European Reform, his job is to be an expert on the European Union.
I manage our Future of Europe programmes and also our Justice and Home Affairs programme. And in addition to that, I also take a close interest in Britain's European debate. Obviously, because I'm Irish, I also handle any analysis on Ireland. For example, today I've been writing a briefing note on Ireland's referendum on the EU fiscal compact and what's going to happen. This is another sort of challenge about being a political expert, is that people will rely on people like me to tell them what's going to happen. Everybody from bookmakers to politicians, in the Bundestag in Germany, will read our reports and use them as evidence, even though really what the evidence is my analysis, my considered analysis, which will obviously have to be based on things I read, people I meet, what I hear, polls I read, and what I extrapolate from them. So you can see already the mixed skill set that goes into sort of what we do.
See you tomorrow.
You've got me actually on 2 days where I haven't slept, 2 nights. Yeah, I'm not feeling particularly chipper at all, or articulate.
Because essentially what a think tanker does, think tanks occupy this grey area between journalism and high-end journalism and being an actual official government. So what our job is to do is to add judgment and prescription to difficult policy problems and also to communicate that clearly. So a think tanker has a very mixed skill set. You have to be able to think like an academic, act like a diplomat, write like a journalist. The EU today, for people who've been, an analyst like myself who's been studying the EU for 7 years, it's really ironic that both the Euro and Schengen, or free movement if you like, the EU's two biggest flagship projects are both in trouble. The Schengen has only been around for since 1995 really, when internal border controls were first abolished between 5 different countries. But now it's suddenly become a hugely politicised subject as immigration has risen in Europe over the last decade, and as the far right has risen in countries like the Netherlands and France, for example. So the issue now is that, and France is a country which has never really liked the Schengen project at all. For some reason, France is like the Britain of the Schengen area. It's never been comfortable with the idea of not having its own border controls. So that having been said, the debate over Schengen is not really very clear. It's like, in terms of the difference between the media discussion and the policy discussion, it's like standing in a hall of crazy mirrors. The debate, Sarkozy sort of promises that if other countries don't maintain their borders, he'll re-erect the French borders and leave Schengen. Well, that's not a really realistic threat. So I think that the future for Schengen is far more rosy than the future for the Euro, because I think in their hearts, voters in Europe do not wish for a return to having to show their passport if they go to Spain on holidays or something like that. And I think that given the economic impact of border controls, which are very considerable, for example, when Czechoslovakia broke up, they had to reintroduce border controls between the two countries, and it massively reduced trade between the two parts of what used to be the same country. So if you did that in Europe at a time when we all need to get some growth into the economy, it would only be literally shooting ourselves in the foot. So Schengen will survive, but even after the French presidential election, and even if Hollande wins, it's still in need of reform.
Well, I'm just going into this wine reception, which is the launch of Strategic Europe, which is a great publication by a fantastic think tank called the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Very, very famous, and which also has an office here in Brussels. So I'll see you later. Introduce it.